What's going on, guys? Today I'll be doing a review of the Title Boxing ARtech Bag Gloves. So stay tuned.
Uber up the styles like miles and shit. Like 60s funky worms with waves and perms. Just sending junky rhythms right.
Alright guys, so today we have these Title ARtech Bag Gloves. I'll give you guys a close-up look of it. These are full leather minus the aero vent mesh palm. But you can see it has that D-ring loop for that wrist strap system. ARtech air release technology. And I'll go in a little bit more detail here in the review on that. Cool color scheme with the gray, blue, and the yellow. And you can see it's full leather construction. It does have an attached thumb. Here's a striking surface with the leather. Foam itself is pretty dense. Velcro strap on the back. It's Title Boxing. We've got plastic embossed patch that's stitched into the actual leather strap. And you know, both gloves are pretty symmetrical to each other and are made in China. You can actually see the tag in there. These are a 16-ounce bag glove made in China right there. So overall, a really great bag glove I've used for training. And let's check out the weight on this glove. Turn this guy on. So again, these are 16 ounces as advertised, and weight-wise, this one is at 16.4 ounces, so not too far off. The left side is 16.5. So weight-wise, they're almost on point. As far as being 16 ounces and true to weight. So that's nice to see, especially for a bag glove. Sometimes they could typically be a little bit heavier than advertised, especially if they use gel, the gel material in the knuckle area, but these are true to weight. So on to the review. What's up guys, Carlo here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Title Boxing ARtech Bag Gloves. Got mine in 16 ounces. Title also makes these in 12 and 14 ounces. It only comes in this one color scheme, which is the gray, the navy blue, and the yellow. This being the bag glove version, they do use the D-ring closure right here. ARtech stands for Air Release Technology. Title Boxing, as far as the ARtech line goes, they also have a lace-up training glove which can be used for sparring, as well as a training glove which is Velcro. It just doesn't have this D-ring closure. It has a little bit of a different closure mechanism on that. But these ones are specifically for bag work with an emphasis on wrist support as well as knuckle protection. One thing you notice about this glove is it uses a reverse Velcro strap with that D-ring. So again, that really helps lock in your wrist right there. The air release technology, the whole concept behind that is it uses a 4-layer, multi-layer foam padding, which consists of latex, open and closed cell foams, as well as EVA. And one of the layer of the foam on the inside uses channels on the inside. And the whole concept behind that is when this punching surface makes contact with the bag or whatever you're training on, it disperses the shock of the punch throughout the entire surface of the glove. So that's kind of the concept behind it. I think it works really nicely. I can't really tell you whether or not scientifically if the channels actually work or not, but from using this on the heavy bag and really hitting it, I really feel that these are probably some of the best gloves you can get in terms of shock dispersion. And I've used a lot of gloves that have used gel. Those are those Title foam channel gloves I used before. So this is kind of another form of that, but I think it does a really nice job for what it is. So design-wise, you can see here it has kind of a short and stocky profile. It's not a really low dropping cuff. So for those of you that like a shorter cuff on your gloves, these definitely would fit the bill. And it does have a wider profile, which is nice because you have a little bit more of a punching surface to land on. So the striking surface right here is a little bit wider than your typical boxing gloves. And for being a bag glove, that really serves a nice purpose that you really can feel your hand landing on the bag. So it does have a wider profile. You can see that the leather itself is 100% full grain leather. It does have kind of a matte look to it. The gray looks really nice. The blue is more of a navy blue. You can see it does have that Title boxing triangle T logo on the back right there, that's screen printed. You do have a plastic logo that's patched in here into the actual wrist strap. I definitely would not recommend these bag versions to be used for sparring because of that D-ring closure as well as this plastic tag. I would definitely get the other training versions if you're going to use these for sparring. These are primarily just for the bag. And then on the back side here, or should I say on the palm side, you do have the ARtech technology logo that's screen printed onto the leather strap right there. Genuine leather. The only area that's not leather on this glove is going to be this Aero Event mesh palm, which helps wick away moisture. And then you have the Title boxing logo that's screen printed onto the medium-sized grip bar there. But everything else is leather construction all throughout. The inside of the glove uses a polyester satin liner right there. And you can see here these gloves are made in China, but for being a China-made glove, they're actually really nice construction-wise. I mean, they're 16 ounces right there, but you can see it does have that moisture-wicking polyester satin liner on the inside. So, quality-wise, these gloves are actually really nice. The stitching on here, it looks really good. You can see, give you guys a nice close-up of the stitching. The only areas I saw that were kind of area concerns is where you can see where they ended some of the cuts that they did. You know, I don't even know what kind of die machines or scissors they may use, because these are probably a little bit more mass produced. They're not really like a boutique brand where you have low quantities of these being made. So you can see that there's kind of cut marks right there where the leather meets. But the stitching actually looks really good. Even with the finger compartment, you can see how the leather is tucked in nicely, bonded to the actual foam on the inside. As well as here, typically you see a lot of gloves that you'll see that the actual stitches are kind of pulling through the leather. And they did a really nice job actually tucking and rolling the leather inside here so you don't expose any of the seams, which is a really nice touch. One thing about this glove being this bag glove is that it's a little bit top heavy. So a lot of the weight is distributed towards the front of the glove. A little bit more balance would have been nice to have a little bit more of the material here on the wrist area. And the stitching you can see there looks really good. There's a nice quality Velcro strap, which is all leather. It does have this reinforced D-ring closure. Let me just try to take this out real quick to show you guys. So you have that D-ring closure that is looped into that, reinforced with the stitching there. So that should last you quite a while. The actual piping around the cuff of the glove looks really good. Stitched in nicely, nothing loose. Sometimes you find gloves that have the liner that's torn on the inside. The liner is really nice on the inside, nothing is torn. And then the thumb, you can see that area looks really good as well. The thumb that is attached looks good. The seam on the backside where the thumb meets the top of the glove looks really good as well. The hinge point on the back has a nice bead of leather right there that's stitched in. So overall, a really nice quality glove. I mean, especially for the price point that you get these gloves at and the protection they offer. I mean, I'm really satisfied with the quality of these. You know, are they winning or fly? No. You know, the leather is definitely not on that level, but for being a glove made in China and for being a genuine leather glove, it's definitely a nice quality glove. So comfort-wise is exactly where these gloves excel. And I've been really, you know, impressed with a lot of the Title products as of late. They really stepped up their game in terms of the ergonomics of their gloves, I feel. I feel like a lot of their gloves are very comfortable and they have a kind of really good understanding of what their customers want in their gloves. So you can see that pulls right through on the D-ring closure and just wraps all the way around onto the backside right there. So you're really locking your wrist, so it offers a good amount of wrist support. Being a 16-ounce glove, these are definitely more on the mid-range to the compact size. So if you do have long fingers or larger hands, I would definitely, at minimum, get a 16-ounce glove. I have medium-sized hand. I got these in 16-ounce, and they fit me perfectly, especially with hand wraps on. These fit perfect. My thumb placement is optimal. I don't feel like my thumb jams at the top. I don't feel like it's an awkward position. I don't feel like there's any pressure points on the strap right here. One thing I love about this glove too is that it does have a deep finger compartment. So again, like a lot of the other gloves, typically gloves that have a little bit more of a shallow finger compartment, you feel like you have a little bit hard time to roll your hand over to make a fist. With these being deep, your hand's already kind of in a natural punching position, so you really don't have to do much in order to form a fist with these. So the grip bar is in a nice position on the inside right here. And then on the fingertip, there's a nice little foam pad right there that really helps you tighten down and make that fist. So thumb placement, finger placement is really good. The actual width of the glove on the inside is a little bit more snugger. Even though the width of it on the exterior looks a little bit wider, it doesn't feel like that on the inside. The material they use that butts up against your hand on the inside is definitely softer. So they use a little bit of a softer foam that rests up against your hand to give it a little bit more of a cushioned feel, so it doesn't feel so rigid against your hand. Some of the other gloves you may have seen, like the Casanovas, mostly the Mexican style glove that use the latex foam. Oftentimes they don't put a softer foam on the inside, so you feel like it's really rigid. It doesn't really form to your hand, so you really have to break those gloves in to get it to form. With these, they feel really broken in on the hand compartment right out of the box. I can make a really good fist with these as well. I can't really open my hands all the way, and that's because of the foam padding right here on this area that's really stiff. And that's more or less because of the actual protection of the glove. Being in a bag glove, this foam is really dense, so it doesn't really allow you to open your hand to parry punches. That's probably one drawback I found with this glove. Is I'd wish that you can open your hand a little bit more, but because of the density of the foam in here, it doesn't really allow that. So it's kind of fighting against itself in that respect. But comfort-wise, these are really comfortable. I love the way they feel. I didn't feel any discomfort, and I put a lot of rounds in with this glove. Performance-wise and protection-wise, these protect phenomenally. They're definitely in my top 3 as far as protection goes. They're not really a feedback glove. If you're looking for something that's more of a puncher's glove, you really want to feel your knuckles break through and land on those punches and get the pop you want. These definitely probably wouldn't be in that doghouse, but if you're looking for something that's max protection, you can see here, this is really dense, man. I mean, this foam right here, when it lands, it really disperses the shock of the punch, and you literally don't feel anything. I mean, you can swing as hard as you want, some pretty hard haymakers, and you really don't feel much of anything when you land on the bag. So again, if you're looking for max protection, these gloves would fit the profile, and they perform really nicely. I put a lot of rounds in, didn't feel any discomfort in terms of the hand compartment, and I was really able to put a lot of power into the punches, and didn't get any discomfort whatsoever. No sore knuckles, no sore wrists, nothing else in my hand that was really sore whatsoever. Cost-wise, these originally were $139, but Title recently discounted this glove to 99 bucks. So $100 plus whatever discount code you use, I think is well worth it for a glove that offers this level of protection. One thing I also wanted to mention is with that foam channel, or should I say that ARtech, that channel technology on the inside, when you land a punch with this on the heavy bag, it almost has a sinking feeling. I don't know how to describe it. But if you get yourself another pair of gloves, so if you have another pair of boxing gloves, bring those with you to the gym and hit the bag with those for like a round or two. And when you're done using those, put these on and then hit the bag with these. And you'll see what I mean. You'll feel a difference as far as when you land on the bag, you actually feel like the foam sinks just a little bit. And I think it's that foam channel inside there. And you feel it sink, and it's not in a bad way. It actually feels really good. So it's hard to describe when you do it, but when you hit the bag with this glove, you'll see what I mean. So if you do get a pair of these gloves, make sure you bring another pair of your standard gloves to the gym with you that you've been using. That way you have something to compare it to. But 99 bucks plus a discount code, man, I think this is a really good deal for a glove of this caliber that offers the protection that it does. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box on where you can find these gloves. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.